Well, buy a Jeep, they said. It'll be fun, they said. It's great when you live in a state where the weather stays halfway consistent throughout the day. But when you check the radar before you leave and then you get caught in a pop-up, we're going to be soggy. But we got a video coming up next. Alright, well, welcome back to another episode of Breaking Edge Outdoors. I guess this little pop-up here is stopped. As long as I can get in here without hitting nothing. We are going to set a few trail cameras up today. Yeah, it's still raining on my face. Well, now that this little pop-up shower's subsided, yeah, it's a real pain. It's easier for me to do it than it is for the passenger. Yeah. Got my longtime buddy, good friend here, old TW Trent, and we're out here on some public ground. One of my favorite spots where you guys have seen this property. This is where I like taking pea shooter down here and hunting with. It's quick and easy access, but we're gonna go get back in the woods here a little ways and find a spot and throw a trail camera up. And I think I have one of his stands at my house. I think we're gonna throw that up if we're getting good pictures. But that'll be a couple, well, about 2 months. 2 months from today. Tomorrow. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to quit talking. We're going to get walking. Okay. We're halfway set up. We're going to spray down some Repel Tick Defense. This doesn't have DEET. It's picaridin, or however you say it. It's great stuff. It doesn't eat your lenses of your sunglasses. It's not going to harm the finish on your bow or your other equipment. This is my preferred spray, and it works great. So we're going to hose down with it. I picked up this muddy trail cam sometime last year. It's the Hunter 14. Never used it, so this is getting set up for the first time. Got some fresh batteries to throw in it. We're going to throw in a card and get out. Well, I don't think it's still trying to rain on us, but there's definitely a lot of water falling out of the tree. We'll put that back on so I'm less ugly. This is always the hardest part, kind of the most frustrating part, is trying to find a good spot to hang a camera, especially on public ground. That's why you guys can see that step back there. I've got a step in my pack so I can get it up off the ground in a little ways. And also a secondary reason of why I wanted to bring him out here. I don't like getting off the ground by myself when people aren't 100% sure exactly where I am. It's always a good idea. Safety first, second, or third, you know, whichever. Probably third, because I was going to do it anyway if he didn't come. But I chose this spot in particular that I wanted to hunt. If you guys watched the last video that I posted when we came out this spring and stump shot this big lake point that I'm on, that we are on, saw all sorts of sign, bunch of droppings, bunch of trails, beds, I mean the works. It was a well-used area, so that's why I wanted to hang a camera here. I've actually hunted this particular spot, this big tree right here. I've hunted, there was a two-man ladder stand set up of a buddy of mine's that I was able to hunt. There's another tree off over here I threw my climber on because I had deer coming in behind me. So I threw my climber up one day and ended up shooting a doe out of it. Of course, it was all long before we ever cared enough about having a camera with us, so there's no footage of that. But we're gonna find a good trail and get this set up and go on to the next one. All right, we found the tree. It's going on this big tree right here. This one, not that one, this one. Well, the camera kind of flattens it out. This right here is actually a big draw, ravine, whatever you want to call it. It goes down to the lake. Another big flat hillside. And this area right here, for the most part, is fairly open. So I think we'll be able to get shots coming through. Mainly, I'm hoping to see, you know, deer cutting through across right in here and coming around. So we'll go through the process of what I'm doing here. All right, that's just an old River's Edge. I think it's a River's Edge. A 3-step stick. I'm pretty sure it came from like Rural King, if I'm not mistaken. It matches the ones that I got at home, and they're River's Edge. It doesn't matter. But I'm going to take and throw this up so I can get a few feet up off the ground, not only for the purpose of it being less accessible to people that's not me, but to also have it up out of the deer's line of sight and out of sight, out of mind. These steps are super easy to use. You got your strap on there. This just comes with a Camlock strap. You set it on to your desired height. And the most important thing to do is push down on the step. That locks it into the tree. It really tightens up that strap. Hey, look folks, I'm a 260-pound man that's not real fond of heights, especially being on small steps like that. And I'm comfortable enough to use them. As long as you do them properly, everything should be fine and safe. And not only because we're getting off the ground, but we're getting off the ground on public ground. And anytime you leave the ground, you have to be strapped and tied to the tree. So, as soon as I get my harness untangled here, there we go. It is humid. It was like 89 degrees or something like that when I picked him up. And that little rainstorm shower really fired up the humidity. It's gross. I feel gross. I'm gonna need a shower. Hooray. Will you be my lovely assistant and hold all that? That's really probably high. I'm not entirely sure how you work this strap. That probably would have been also good to know beforehand. Stick. Okay, we'll go with it. Alright, well, that's really down lower than what I wanted it, because I can still reach up and touch it. Like I said, I'm not super worried about it getting stolen. More of just getting it above the deer's line of sight. I'll come back out next week and check on it, make sure it's still here and set. I don't really like that cam buckle on that strap, but it's kind of too late for doing anything about it right now, so. Oh well, we'll check it, see how it does. All right, we've made it out here to spot number 2. They had that rain shower, made everything all wet. Imagine that, right? My feet are soaked, pants are soaked. It's very humid. I almost walked into a spider web.
Yeah, I just ate it.
Anyway, this is a great little spot. We really like. There's a nice big open fire lane running through here. You can see down there, that's the lake. This is one of my favorite spots to squirrel hunt. And every time I squirrel hunt out here, I see deer. He's busy fighting with spider webs. Actually, pea shooter got to shoot out her first deer here. Didn't get it on camera. And obviously it didn't work out. But anyway, we're gonna go on this nice little hike here, getting back to where I want to set this camera up. And we'll be back to you when we get there. The only big problem I don't like about that is then you got to cut across the trail to check it. Which I guess one way or the other you're spreading scent.
You mean you gotta cut across what you're hunting?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the bad thing about where I have my cameras out at Papal's is if I'm going to hunt the bottom stand, I like coming in there on an east wind so that way it's blowing my scent across the property line. And then I can skirt the creek edge. But the problem is doing that, I can't get to my cameras. That's one thing I like to do, is I like to pull my cards. I like to pull my cards when I go, and then I've got an SD card reader. I can plug it into my phone. So then I can check my trail cameras while I'm sitting. Which is good and bad, because then you're staring at your phone and not really paying attention. But
It's like fishing. They don't bite till you have your phone out.
yep. And you guys got to see that situation last year when I had Pete Shooter out at that last piece of public that we were on. We just got set up. I just got done, or I just turned the camera on and look over it, and that buck was down in that bottom, like 10, 12 yards from us. Always when you're distracted. I mean, at least out at Papal's, I know exactly what tree those cameras are going on. And there's really only one of them that I go worry about putting up higher. I mean, I don't know who makes that Cabela's cam. It looks a lot like a Browning, but I don't know. It definitely got busted bigger than snot. I'll actually, speaking of that, and you know, kind of going back over one of the main reasons why I'm using this climbing stick and getting my cameras up a little bit higher. I'll link that video, or not link it, I'll put that video in right here. and that's why I want to put him up a little bit higher. That right there was the buck that I'd been calling Dandy for the last couple of years. I've got a handful of pictures of him, but he likes to pick out my cameras. So this year I decided I was going to put him up a little bit higher. Well, yeah, on public ground, and the ones that I'm going to put down in the bottoms down there at Papaw's, the ones that I've had up on the tops, I've not seemed to had any trouble with the bucks picking out, even, you know, walking straight into them. Well, finally got a tree picked out where we're going to hang this stand. Where is it? I just saw it. Got to looking around. Oh, there it is. It ain't fresh. Well, there's some droppings. And this is obviously the tree we're going to put it on. There's some fresher droppings. If I can find them. Yeah, right there. Then we also found our friend Terry. Terry the tortoise. What are you doing, buddy? It's always fun to see box turtles out in the woods. Well, we didn't see him. He moved. Then we discovered him. The great mighty hunters. Anyway, we're gonna get this put up, get back to the Jeep, and I don't know, are you going out to Papaw's? Or are you wanting to get home?
I don't know yet.
No, we'll figure it out from there. One way or the other, we'll be back to hang a few more. Well, that was quite the adventure. Got rained on, got to walk through the woods. Trent found several ticks. I haven't found any yet. Doesn't mean I ain't got none, but well, I know how I haven't found any, and he found some. He didn't spray his pant legs down with that Picard didn't spray. But went out, got the rest of my trail camera set. I didn't bother bringing the camera because it looked like it was going to fix, start raining. The weather report went off. A couple times there was rain south, and we were heading south, so didn't even bother taking the camera. Just went out, got them hung, and got Trent home and all that good stuff. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up for today. We just wanted to get some content put out, and I know videos haven't been coming like we want them to, but I've been working a bunch of overtime at work. Patrick and Lance both, they've been busy, you know, with their own life stuff going on, but we're 9 weeks away from squirrel season opening up here in central Illinois, so videos are going to start rolling. I know we're excited to get out and start, you know, getting our early season scouting in, getting some squirrels put down or put together, disassembled, put on the grill. There we go. I did recently pick up a Pit Boss pellet smoker, so I need to get a few squirrels and try out a few recipes on smoking them. So we'll probably do some videos on that, do a little catch and clean, well, catch and cook. But for now, we're gonna sign off here. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, ring the little bell notification, drop us a comment. Yeah, drop me a comment if you guys like the way that I set the cameras up this time, or if I did something wrong, let me know. But until then, thanks for watching. Get after it, keep after it.